Hi, my name is Catherine Fox, and I am the founder and advisor at Sunny Branch Wealth. In this video, I'm going to be answering the 10 questions that I think everyone should be asking prospective financial advisors. The first few questions are about an advisor's background and their firm. The first question is, what are my qualifications and industry experience? I've been working in the wealth management industry since 2016. I am a certified financial planner as well as a chartered advisor in philanthropy. Before founding Sunny Branch in September of 2022, my previous experience in the wealth management industry was at a large registered investment advisor in Portland, Oregon. I was there for 5 years, and during that time, I worked with clients as a financial planner, an investment advisor, and also as a philanthropic advisor for some of the firm's larger clients. The next question is if I have experience with clients in someone's specific situation. I can't answer specifically this question for everyone watching this video, but I will talk about my experience working with the group of people that I serve at Sunny Branch Wealth, inheritors. My entire time working in the wealth management industry, I've been working with inheritors and future inheritors. It's a group of people that I understand really well. Having been through the inheritance process myself, I get the stresses it brings, the mix of grief and excitement and confusion that you feel when you're trying to navigate the inheritance or the estate settlement process. I also love working with people who are younger, who expect that they may inherit significant wealth years or even decades into the future, but aren't focused on that now because they're just trying to get their own financial lives in order. The next question is, am I a fiduciary? Yes, I am a fiduciary. Sunny Branch is a registered investment advisor, which means that I am required to be a fiduciary and that I have a legal obligation to always put the interests and the best needs of my clients ahead of my own. The next few questions are about fees and billing at Sunny Branch Wealth. First question is, how am I compensated? Am I a fee-only advisor? Yes, I am a fee-only advisor. I'll get into the details of my fee structures in the next question, but being a fee-only advisor means that the only money I make is the one fee that I charge you as my client. I'm never going to receive sales-related compensation or commissions, which means that I don't have conflicts of interest in terms of recommending one particular product over another. I'm not going to be paid because you invested in Fund A rather than investing in Fund B. Your fee with Sunny Branch will depend on the type of services that you're looking for. It will be discussed, agreed upon, and clearly articulated in advance, so you'll always know exactly what you're paying and how you're paying it. The next question is, what is my fee structure? At Sunny Branch, I have 3 different fee structures depending on where clients are in their lives and in their inheritance journey. For younger clients who expect to inherit years or maybe decades into the future, I offer a flat fee annual retainer model. This lets us go deep into the financial planning process, figuring out your financial situation and if you're making progress towards your future goals, while also giving us the space to talk about how to start talking to your parents or your grandparents about what's going to happen when they die. For people who had a loved one pass away recently but haven't yet received their inheritance and are looking for help navigating the inheritance or estate settlement process and planning for what they're going to do when funds arrive, I also offer annual retainer flat fee models based on the complexity of the situation and the amount of help you need navigating the estate settlement process and planning for that future inheritance. For inheritors who have already received their inheritance and have assets to manage, I bill under an assets under management model. What that means is I take a percentage of the assets that I manage for you as my fee. That's one fee that includes all the work we do on the financial planning side, investment management, inheritance planning, and anything else that our work touches. This fee starts at 1%. So if I was managing $2 million for you, my fee would be 1% of that $2 million, or $20,000 a year. As your assets under management grow, there are drop points after which your fees start to get lower and your total fee as a percentage of assets under management drops. The next question is, what is the all-in fee I will pay if I become a client? This question is a little impossible to answer without having a specific client in front of me. But what I can say is that the only additional fees that you would pay on top of what we talked about in the two above questions are the investment fund fees, that embedded fee that you pay to an ETF or a mutual fund. I focus primarily on using low-cost ETFs in building my portfolios, which means that those fees are low. That being said, I will always tell you what those fees are and explain to you what your all-in fee will be as a Sunny Branch client. The next couple questions focus on defining our relationship. The first question is, how will our relationship work? I started Sunny Branch because I wanted the freedom to work with clients in the way that I think is best for their future financial success. What that means for me is I want fewer clients and to work with them more deeply. So our relationship is going to work in whatever way is best for you. Answering the next question, I'll talk a little bit about my client meeting schedule and what I suggest, but ultimately, my goal at Sunny Branch is to serve you. When you start as a client, you'll go through an in-depth onboarding process where we gather a whole ton of data about your financial situation in service of helping to define short, medium, and long-term objectives. This is a time and labor-intensive process for the first part of our engagement together. After that, we'll settle off into a more regular meeting cadence, but the most important thing is that your needs are being met. And if that means you have a question come up, you're working through a specific situation, and we need to meet twice a week or more often, so be it. So what is my client meeting schedule, and do I meet outside that schedule? Once you settle into a more regular routine after the onboarding process, I do suggest 4 meetings a year or 1 a quarter. So regardless of whether you want to meet or not, I'll send you an email that once a quarter to schedule that meeting. That being said, I know that life doesn't happen on a quarterly schedule. There are going to be times, if you're dealing with an inheritance, if you're trying to buy a new home, if you're answering some other financial question, that you're going to need to be in touch a lot. And that's fine. That's what I expect. There's a regular ebb and flow to our meetings that depends on the questions you have and also your availability and interest in talking to me. And that's what I expect and what I embrace at Sunny Branch. The last 2 questions are about the services I offer at Sunny Branch Wealth. The first question is how I approach financial planning. Financial planning is a really difficult thing to explain to someone who hasn't been through it. I think that a lot of people imagine, oh, you'll give me advice on my investments and you'll tell me if I'm saving enough for retirement and then you'll send me on my way. At Sunny Branch, my goal is to help you with every area of your life that your money touches. And if you think about it, you can imagine that money touches a lot of aspects of your life, whether it's your relationship with your partner, planning for healthcare expenses, managing an inheritance, building your own estate plan and deciding what you're going to pass along to your heirs. All of these are covered under the financial planning process. We'll also look at your insurance needs, your tax needs. And I also think people think of financial planning as a one and done thing. I don't give my clients a financial plan. Instead, we're looking at a dynamic picture that's changing every time you bring a new question to me. So it's not a financial plan that we're approaching, but it's a lifetime of financial decisions that we're building a plan to help you navigate. The last question is, what is my investment philosophy? As an inheritor and as someone who works in the wealth management industry with people who have significant amounts of wealth, I believe that having wealth confers an obligation to create positive impact in the world and to give back to your community. This ties into my investment philosophy, as clients at Sunny Branch generally are invested in ESG funds. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. It's a way of screening out the worst actors in a particular industry and giving more money to the companies that are doing better. Beyond building social impact or ESG portfolios, my portfolios at Sunny Branch Wealth focus on using low-cost funds and are built for the long term. I'm not going to be sending you daily emails proposing trades. This is a set it and forget it situation. I won't forget it because I'll be looking at them and rebalancing them frequently. But the goal is for you to understand the values and the benefit to being a long-term investor and letting the stock market do its work for you. Thanks so much for watching this video. I've enjoyed answering these 10 questions. If you have any other questions you want to ask, please feel free to reach out to me at Catherine@sunnybranchwealth.com. I look forward to talking to you soon.